Shalom. Thanks for joining me. I'm in Matthew chapter 9. I'm going to start in verse 27 here. Matthew chapters 8 and 9 are grouped together, a series of miracles that Jesus performs, and Matthew is grouping them together to demonstrate the authority that Jesus has over various elements of life and nature and sickness and even death. Now, in this particular section, Jesus is going to heal two blind men and cause a mute man to speak. Let's read verse 27. Jesus went on from there. Two blind men followed him, calling out, "Have mercy on us, Son of David." When he had gone indoors, the blind men came to him, and he asked them, "Do you believe that I am able to do this?" Fascinating that he would ask that question, don't you think? "Yes, Lord," they replied. Then he touched their eyes and said, "According to your faith, let it be done to you." And their sight was restored. Jesus warned them sternly. See that no one knows about this? But they went out and spread the news about him all over the region. While they were going out, a man who was demon-possessed and could not talk was brought to Jesus. And when the demon was driven out, the man who had been mute spoke. The crowd was amazed and said, "Nothing like this has ever been seen in Israel." But the Pharisees said, "It is by the prince of demons that he drives out demons." Interesting section in here. These blind men, they call Jesus the Son of David. Now, the Son of David is one of the ways that the Messiah was referred to in the Tanakh, the Jewish section of the Old Scripture. He is a descendant, the Messiah is a descendant of King David. So this is why they're calling him Son of David. They're recognizing he is the Messiah, that he's a descendant of David. Now, it's interesting that he asked them, "Do you believe that I can do this?" So he asked them if they believe that. Why do you think Jesus might ask if they believed he could do this? Do you believe Jesus can heal? That is a good question for you, isn't it? It was a question for them. They believed. Now, Jesus touched their eyes, and they saw. Jesus said it was the amount of faith they had that was the basis for their healing. Well, how much faith do you have? Jesus has authority over blindness. Now, Jesus then warned them, "Don't tell anybody," which I'm thinking in the back of my mind, that's not going to work. If I have been blind and now I can see, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be talking about that a lot. And it's interesting because, by the way, some scholars refer to this as the messianic secret, because there's multiple places in the Gospels where Jesus tells people, "Don't talk about this. Don't tell anybody about this." And it's referred to as the messianic secret. The main reason why Jesus would say something like that is because if the word got out so much that it would be such large crowds coming to him that he couldn't minister to everyone effectively. There would be people who needed to be healed that wouldn't get healed. There were people who needed to have demons cast out and wouldn't have demons cast out. And so things like this would happen. And this is why Jesus is telling them, don't tell everybody about this. Try to, keep this low key. And by the way, did that work? No. The adjoining story, which is told in a couple other places, it caused crowds to be all over the place. Caused crowds to show up, and Jesus got to where there was hardly any place where he could go because he had very limited movement because the crowds were so massive because of this. By the way, it was a demon that possessed the man that was mute. Apparently his muteness was the result of the demons in him. Once the demon was drove out, the man spoke. Do demons cause physical ailments? Yeah. Are all physical ailments the result of demons? No. Do demons cause mental disorders? Yes. Do all mental disorders the result of demons? No, not at all. In this case, A man is mute because of a demon possessing him. One thing about demons, they love to destroy. They love to tear things down. They love to ruin everything. And so here's a man who couldn't speak because of the possession of a demon. The demon gets out. The demon is cast out. And the man can speak again. And the people proclaim, nothing like this has ever happened. Now again, Matthew is telling us that Jesus has authority over muteness, and he has authority over demons. Now the Pharisees' reaction is interesting. They decide that Jesus is casting out demons by the power of demons. Now in Matthew chapter 12, there's another place very similar to this, and Jesus describes this attributing the work of God to the work of Satan. And Jesus describes that as a sin that is unforgivable. That's an interesting thing, attributing the work of God, the work of Jesus, to the work of Satan is an unforgivable sin. Powerful thought, isn't it? Hang on to that. So Jesus has authority for healing and casting out demons. Thanks for joining me.